Okay, so this one is resource. What resource are we going to want to talk about? This one right here is basically food.
Yeah, so this is going to be improving health.
School, right? Basically school's perspective.
Yeah, like instead of asking kids to come over here, we go into the school.
We're to teach.
Yeah, we're to teach, right? I mean, we're going to teach.
So this one is summer camp often when basically is questions to do event. This one right here is basically kind of marketing. Marketing over here. This right here is how to teach, or like the actual content, right? Of
like projects.
to do in the event. This one was basically about topics to teach. This right here was basically adults plus kids. This one is basically target audience. This one is motivation. And this one is about improving helping.
Yeah.
So, just more of a democratic process, right? Now that we have a category that we can work with, what do you guys feel like is important to talk about? So, now that we actually have these topics, I could put these in order of how we want to talk about them. So we have a discussion, we put a timer on it. So we want to put these together as a topic? As two?
Yeah, I mean, there'll be some places for where you change the where, you change the when.
So put that as
Where you
two.
change when, you change where.
Okay, we can do that. I'll make this as three because I feel like this is the order we should talk
Yeah.
about. What are these? I think this should actually be maybe four because you want to know the target audience, right?
That goes with what to do in the event.
Right to do with it?
What to do is also changes by what the target audience
That is true as well. We could do that right there.
is. Put together.
I feel like, so let's put this as 0. Because I feel like this should be identified first then.
Yeah.
So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, and then
And this is also,
pretty important to talk about next.
well, what you teach is what to do in the event, right?
So how we
These are
put,
really the same thing.
so I'll put this as basically topics. Yeah, we could definitely do that as well. So we could put this as 1.5, 5, and then
Just get off resources.
I would actually say, yeah, so we might want to do resources as the next topic, which is
I feel like, I
After
mean,
the
we
how
have,
to teach.
resources is also what improvement can give us, but, I mean, I don't think my biggest concern is not resources. So if that makes a difference in terms of, like, bringing a laptop for every kid is gonna make a difference.
Do you feel like the topic isn't as important because we can move it down? We don't have to talk about it now.
Or, I mean, I guess it depends how broad it is.
Okay,
Like,
so
is what's missing laptops? But that wasn't really been my guess, because everybody has laptops.
well, when we get to there, we can talk about it. But I think for there we have 0, 5, and
And all then two.
I'll say 6, and so this is what we're putting together, right? This 4. Okay, so basically, first thing we're going to talk about, second, third, we're going to talk about resources, improving food, how we can help. Then we're going to talk about our motivations for it. We're going to be talking about finally whether or not it is a good idea to combine adults and kids. So once we kind of have like an idea of what we are trying to do, then we can decide whether or not it's the right move to combine Code4Y'all adults with Code4Y'all kids. It's just like that.
I'm not the expert on this topic.
Starting.
Okay.
3 minutes, so do you want me to read each sticky note first?
So yeah, how about we just kind of read the first project and then the person that,
Project. Who wrote this project? Do we go like who wrote it?
yeah,
and
we
then-
could definitely do that.
Yeah, project.
It was mine.
Oh, that was yours.
Mhm.
Well, I co-host a robotics club, and that's how we run it. We encourage people to bring the project, and then help them it's not super clear that they need help, but by kind of forcing everybody to have a project, kind of, other people are seeing what's new, what other people are doing.
Mhm.
Sometimes they do need help though. Well, I should say, like, they'll figure it out on their own, but everybody else, like other people who run the group are experts, so like we can do the project straight through. But, so it's like we kind of watch them, see where they get stuck and kind of help them through it,
Yeah.
but they'll get it done
Yeah.
eventually also.
Who's the target audience that at that time you guys were doing the event or giving these projects to? Were these grown adults? Were these high schoolers? Or were these
They're usually college and adults. College and professionals is our group.
It's like in college.
It's like the kids are made for kids also. The kids were designed for kids. But I don't know, they have so many other places to do it. Or I don't know, maybe it's a time or something, I don't know.
Mhm.
Okay, so it sounds like you are seeing something that's similar, so you want something that's project based, okay. And does this project and pair programming go hand in hand that you're trying to shoot for?
Not necessarily.
Uh-huh.
Pair programming could go with a lecture, just by having.
Okay.
So pair programming is just having two people together, right? And that's a different interaction. Two stranger kids working together.
So basically, anytime a lecture, or I guess a lab, right, we would have pair partners. That's
Pair
it.
is just pair by its nature means two people together, and for two strangers together, maybe that's
Partners,
different
right?
value.
Kids like to
Partners.
hang out with other kids as well, that's a good
Yeah.
point. Okay.
Okay, different. So then
Is
teach separate small topics, exciting. Teach separate small exciting topics. I think it's the same with create interactive lab,
Oh.
right? Yeah, sure.
Okay, that's the next one.
So next one, have guest speaker relatable to kids.
Mm.
Have guest speaker.
You said that, right?
Yeah,
Nice.
you wanna give
It's
us
not,
a
it's not really to teach them anything, just give them an impression.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was in primary school, you know, they had guest speakers come. I didn't really learn anything video from them, but they they shaped my opinion of the person they did. And having guest speakers shape their opinions about the IT industry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
In a positive way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Impact in a way.
I don't know how easy it is to find some
So,
stuff.
what's the difference between Isa or Mark and me doing that?
Yeah, I think
Out of
that-
curiosity, like how will they determine if that is a yes or not a yes?
Yeah, for example, can Henry be our guest
Yeah, you
speaker?
can.
Hmm.
Actually, it will probably be us talking about things.
Mhm.
I'm trying to figure out how to make it relatable to kids.
So can we say like anyone, any adult can be a guest speaker who's going to present a very interesting topic for kids? Can we say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask something about games? Are some of the popular games with kids scriptable? Is Roblox scriptable?
Scriptable?
I don't know anything about Roblox.
Yeah, I think they kids do love Roblox, like.
Right, but I wonder if we could make the projects relatable by using some game that they already know. But I don't know.
Yeah, I think that would be nice.
But I don't know the platforms well enough to know if any of them are actually programming versus just GUI building. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think that is interesting. Maybe we play educational video games.
Yeah, so yeah, it's right there too.
Okay,
So having guest speakers, so that's also an action item.
so
Action item, like, so yeah, so the speaker is not going to teach anything, they're just going to get them excited, right?
okay, so we're basically trying to find guest speakers with different domain knowledge, but basically able to teach these different small projects.
Yeah, which
Okay.
is the same. I think this is going to be the same, you know, the guest speaker or
Mhm.
teaching
So you say you want to essentially have kids,
to have Roblox.
something similar to
Educational video game.
Well, I mean, this goes to when we assume that they're not engaged or something, but like if all the kids love Roblox and assuming that there's something like, there are definitely some games, I don't know if it's popular with kids, where you can program, like because you're a kid. Cause like some of them, like you program your character when you're away, when you're sleeping. So like that could be a reason that they would be really engaged to like, we really want them to be at the point where they're demanding their parents that they don't want to miss it.
Oh, okay, got it.
Okay.
And like instead of like, oh, there's a bunch of adults who have to go to Saturday school yet. for like Sunday school again.
Mhm.
So this is basically, okay, so let's say that they like the video games, right? What does that consist of? Is it talking about like Scratch or?
Well, I don't the same people so much. We're tired of hearing each other talk.
Mhm.
Versus, and so it's a different dynamic. You know, it forces people to find why they're coming and just to find, you know, bring what you're working on if you're new, or bring what you're working on even if you're not new, just because other people might know it better.
A show and tell
Right.
is what you're suggesting, in a way.
Well, yeah, I didn't think how this applies to kids, because kids maybe don't have as much self-starting.
But
I guess the only point was that when there is a lecture, there's a different format, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
people have to bring their laptops and they have to follow along.
That's actually
But-
interesting, because we could do it by week, we could do it like 2 times a month, right? Where this week is specifically no lectures, and this particular week is just for projects.
Mhm.
I
So,
see what you're saying.
I'm thinking about this small project to build, right? If they're going to be building a small project and we're talking about the kids,
Yeah.
they need to have some kind of a lecturing, guiding.
Yeah.
Um,
So, I guess one thing we do for adults is more like we teach and then you synthesize later, but maybe the term is more accurately say a walkthrough. Like that's what like how YouTubes are mostly. It's like I did this, then I did that, then I did this, and then you follow along.
Mhm.
And then at the end, you should have the same thing as what the YouTube person did.
I see that.
Going with that, I wonder if also going with the pair programming, does larger groups mean the project is further along because hey, you're working on the CSS and your other person working on HTML?
Yeah. So they won't be starting from the same point. So I think this is definitely what we're shooting for. Ideation of small projects and labs, right?
Yeah, so I think like there shouldn't be like lecturing, like I was doing, but it should be, I think we should have a guidance walkthrough, a very small lecturing, like 15 minutes. You know, hey, okay, step 1, step 2, step 3, okay, go for it.
Are we recording these, change it out based on that? Like maybe it actually is high school students that come in, then we can market it as that, market fit for that. So I think Mark says like why kids. So is there something you have in mind that you're talking about?
Well, I guess it goes with, I don't know if it's on another category, but there are already after school programs and weekend programs and summer camps. Could be because of the popularity of STEM education all of a sudden. And I get that most of those are paid, but maybe simultaneously because they already are paid, then like there's already established schedule for a lot of the families that are very serious about it. So I feel like we're just capturing a small people who are dipping their toe in it.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, I'm just guessing.
Right, so that's a good point. I think we are targeting the outliers, right? Either we are targeting the ones who are very, very overachiever.
I think those are the people we should be inspired. I don't see them as actually giving them real useful knowledge. I see this mostly as just inspiring.
Just
Like talked about the motivational speakers. You have these people come like Secret Service agents and firefighters and policemen come.
Yeah.
So if you still talk to you, but when you don't think about it much, as a primary school. Once you get into high school and you start thinking about your career, those people you remember them.
I see what you're saying. I actually agree with him on that as well. As that I feel like this kind of goes into the same idea as this, right?
Yeah.
That like we're not really
Target.
we don't want to teach them actually. We just want them to be like, hey, this is what you could do, and I think it might be really interesting if
Yeah.
you decide to continue on for that. So
Right. Yeah, nice. So yeah, we're not going to be like consistently teaching, so that way we target them. We're done in one session.
okay, so it sounds like we have actually some specific things that we wanted this program to represent. Do we want this to be just web development? Was this going to be maybe robotics as well? Can this be blockchain? Can this be like data science? So
I'm open to anything.
I mean, the kids was made to block.
Oh yeah, probably not, right? but I guess what I was trying to get at was like, because we're doing small projects,
3 minutes.
we can do some small things associated to them, right? Like what he did was data science, which is image recognition. And data science could be broken down into smaller pieces as well too. It could be like maybe NLP, right? Natural language processing. You guys ever played with Dialogflow before? It's like this NLP that you can train. But,
So I think we can write down what we can do. So
Okay.
data, right? We can do
So-
data science because we're shooting for only 1 hour max, right?
1 hour max.
1 hour, 15 minutes maximum. So that's why we should, like data science, data stuff we can do.
I'll say
Right.
45 minutes.
Web development we can do, like we can just show them a button, how to create a button, that's it, for example. Blockchain,
So the thing is that, so here's the thing, right? We don't necessarily need them to like build things from scratch. We can be using like software that already exists that, where they can just quickly, like no code, low code, right? We can allow them to actually kind of do some dragging and dropping to learn these different types of technology. Like Scratch can be used to learn web development in some sense, right? But it's drag and drop. And that platform that you use, what was called Catalog?
No,
Kaggle.
Coca-Cola. No, Kaggle.
Kaggle, right? Like a little bit of Kaggle, you're right, we can use these softwares, right, to just teach them instead of having to build it from scratch from code. So I just want to say that we don't have to necessarily, we're done, what's the next thing over here? Two.
okay.
When
so-
to do the events?
Okay, I'm resuming starting from 3 minutes. You want me to do 3?
Yeah, let's do 3 minutes. I don't think this one's gonna take too long.
Okay, yeah. When to do the events? Okay, so we have here summer camp. You put this summer camp?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can't read all my notes, but I would say maybe the biggest thing in my mind is when it's during the school year versus during off school
Yes.
year. It's both an opportunity and a reaction to what their needs are would change.
Yes.
So like the summer camp, or the summer is a time, both, and also not just summer, right? There's also spring break and winter break.
Mhm.
So maybe one way to try it is, if you want to do a 1 week intensive, to do it during spring break, and maybe the needs are different then. Maybe it's for families where the parents are stuck working. I don't know.
Yeah. I have exactly the same because I have one more day. So it's a 2-3 days hackathon for kids, summertime, change the time. Summer, right?
Okay, so that one's already that top.
Yeah, so I think for the summer we can do something. 12 weeks instead of 12 months. Okay, so I wrote this one. So instead of having 1 year, every month, a program where everyone is going to forget something, instead of that, do back-to-back 12 weeks, be done in 3 months.
Okay.
But at the same time, they will learn something, and probably you'll have more consistent. So it's like going to be a program, it's like a summer camp, but it's not going to be summer. It's going to be like a session, a program, a workshop for
Okay.
12 weeks.
So I'm hearing the same, like very similar, like summer camps, workshops. That's what you guys are trying to get at.
But yeah, instead of doing it every month, I mean, I'm going to dedicate myself for 12 weeks, right? And then I'm like, I'll come every week, I'm done. And then for the rest of the year, we're not going to do any of this.
So kind of like, okay, so I see. Very similar to this concept. Okay, that's interesting.
Like in
Okay.
shorter period,
I
and
see what
then
you're doing.
shooting for
Mailing events before mailing lists. We talked about this. Max, complimentary.
what?
Complimentary mentor.
Continuous members.
Oh, continuous
Maximum
members.
amount. Oh, okay, so but again, we're not going to have this continuous members
Okay.
right now.
All
That's
right.
something for
Long
later.
term, right?
Mention what? Code for kids, all code for all kids. Mention?
Just mention it at every single Code4Y'all event.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. Yeah.
Mention?
So what he's saying is that, like, for free code for Code4Y'all adults, we mentioned that as well.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's an
Okay.
action item. Yeah, so for example, at ION, if we have our adults, well, hey, we have a kids.
It's like
one.
Jesse always makes a blurb of
Right, actually, we should mention all 3 different branches on each of them.
They should always talk about that. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
What does Jesse do?
Every time at the free code camp, the Monday, he always says, oh, and this is sponsored by Improving.
Yeah.
And we were also hiring and looking for jobs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Marketing, LinkedIn, Facebook message. So I
Okay.
think it goes here.
Okay.
For direct message, and then also put it on LinkedIn because I don't put them.
I'm gonna put it on LinkedIn right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
LinkedIn.
And then what's this one?
How are the members?
Alright.
What? Marketing design. So we already talked about this.
Yeah, so, yeah, this one's already talked about. Okay, cool. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm allowed to talk about this category that's not up there.
Yeah, please.
This
talk about
is very adult oriented.
Which one? 3?
Everything on 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Marketing
Like-
because kids don't know about it.
But like if the kids were keeping track of each other, like I don't know if they're allowed on Discord, but the point is, if the kids love it so much, they'll be inviting their friends also. Like their friends go with their best friends to this event, and also what was the other thing?
Not qualified.
Not qualified, yes.
You can't do it. You can't do it.
They
That's
say,
its idea.
Winners do, losers teach.
Winners
Yes, there was that saying. Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, that's just an idea, but I mean, that can be something for later.
I think we could definitely consider that. in
Yeah,
the
like
future.
just like an idea.
So how does that translate though? Would that be adults being the mentor, or would other kids be mentors?
I think adult, I would think of.
So you guys are typically here in every event, by my understanding.
We try to be, and then we have volunteer groups as well. Like
Jesse's consistently here, I think, right?
Yeah, no, we have like William,
Mm.
you know, Steve, so yeah, Chandon, so yeah.
Okay. For me, I'm willing to dedicate 2 times a month if you guys are down for that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys need me in that sense, I'd be more than happy to jump on that. Food-wise, this one is a little bit tricky though, because like
Ice cream?
the reason why ice cream might
What?
be tricky is because like we get pizza for the sake of conveniency.
Conveniency, like.
We can order and someone just comes and picks it up for us. But for someone to actually drive, actually I don't mind getting ice cream. Actually, maybe I could.
I can drive.
I
I
can
can
get
come
ice-
earlier.
I could get ice cream actually. If you guys are gonna take it. I don't mind going to the store and getting ice cream. I think that's an idea.
Oh, so yeah, got it. So do you mean like for the pizza, the convenience is they bring it in and that's it, right?
Yeah, because we just want you to have the room to bring the pizza, but because like if we offer ice cream for anyone, right, that'll be kind of complex for us because then we have to drive around. So we do pizza because it's just, you figure it out, you do whatever you do, this is what we'll do to help you out.
I see.
But I don't mind getting ice cream, right? If it comes down to that, if we have an event, but I feel like we will do that later when we realize that kids are coming in.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Will they
Uh-huh.
reimburse me if I buy it?
Huh?
Will they reimburse me if I bring it?
I don't know, but I think I don't mind just buying it out of my own pocket. I think it'd be nice.
yeah, but I think we can ask. I can ask that to Christina.
Okay, you can ask her that, but
Yeah, we can ask that. Can we like, since you are like, can we instead of having pizza? Because I mean, you're still paying for the pizzas, right? Can we have popcorns and ice cream because it's the kids,
I gotta think about that really quick.
Because it's just then going to be the matter of showing the receipt and getting the reimbursed.
Because also adults are gonna be coming into these events a lot as well.
Yeah, but then we're not going.
These are the last 2, these are tiny, so put 5 minutes, we'll just combine them and we're down for the night. So 5, 6 right here.
We didn't talk about the schools, did we?
Oh, I think they were similar to this.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they were similar to school holidays, like.
Yeah, they kind of.
What do we do? Where to teach?
Yeah, I think
Where
we,
to teach? Yeah,
we
it's
talked
like
about-
go to the schools, school holders, teach.
That
them
won't-
school.
we didn't actually have a specific school we're gonna teach, that's for us to decide later.
Yeah.
But we did talk about the idea of workshops and doing summer camps. But whether or not a school's gonna let us, we don't know.
Yeah,
So we're gonna
so
say
that's something for longer. Okay, so next one.
5, 6, this is the last one. So
What's your reason for going?
for doing this. So this is my question, I'm curious for all of y'all's perspective on it, why you guys want. Will you still be there? Alright, how about you, Mark?
I like 5 minutes away also.
Wow.
But I don't come, I expected to see some pre-code time people, so then we were taught.
Building the connection
Yeah.
and network with each other, right?
Yeah,
Intertwined.
people that I know already. and to see whether just to watch the kids when they're working.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll-
kids are fun to watch, like kittens.
So it's just like something that's entertaining, fun, like just them exploring. It's exciting. Okay. How are you? I know you're passionate.
Yeah. I mean, I like to make sure that we bring value for the education, and especially when it's free. And so many resources out there for free, but parents either don't know, they don't know completely what about the coding, or they're lost, right?
I see.
And it's either very expensive, or, I mean, so yeah, I would like to, I mean, with so many free resources, with so many things that we can do, you know, I like to be able to help out, bring the value, do something good, and then maybe they can also, you know, the kids can have some exciting projects later, you know.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. I'm very similar to that point as well, and also kind of similar to your point originally, where you were saying that you wanted to have the kids to just get excited. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how I see the events. I don't necessarily want to teach them, because I know when I was a kid, I didn't really remember what I was learning. But I remember I was like, that's cool. So if we can create that level of excitement for them, well,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
And especially with nowadays, I would say, with everything is coming to AI, ChatGPT, and, you know, so many things, technology. I feel like, you know, it's like, it's a multiplication table. Like, even if you don't know everything about the coding, you should still have some sense of understanding
And
what,
embracing it.
because this is a life now. This is like, you know, we're now changing, you know how it was changing from industrial to this, like, so now it's like an era that's, we're changing.
We might need to get a little bit more pizza, because we're gonna combine these just to see
Yeah.
what that works. But get his perspective on it, actually. I'm just playing around whether he likes it or not. I'm saying that, like, get everyone's feedback on it, what
Yeah.
they feel about it. But I feel like this will be a nice way to kind of get kids involved as well.
Right, I think so too.
Wait, actually, but is that actually a good idea? Because what happens if, would it kind of ruin the reputation of free code camp adults? Because then people will be like, well, is this really a networking, or is this just me bringing my kids over type of thing?
Is it even networking? I thought it's also educational.
I don't think it, for me, when I went to the free code camp event, it was just purely networking for me. I didn't really came in to learn. I don't think anyone went
Oh
there
yeah,
to
me
learn.
too, like.
I never learned anything, to be honest.
I know, no, right,
She's
exactly.
like, my name is Henry, you know? my name is-"
Yeah, exactly, and then give me your LinkedIn.
Yeah.
That's it.
Just kidding, pure code.
So,
So I'm wondering, maybe this might not be a good idea. I don't know. You guys
I
decide.
think we should do this. I think we should do this exercise for the adult section.
Huh?
I think we should do this exercise for the adult section because
like,
it's also needing structure.
you mean like what do you want to bring? What are you waiting? Like, what is your outcome? What is your taking from coming over here
For the adults.
for the adults?
So action items, when you guys get some participants and talk to them about what their motivation is, I guess, when you guys get to them. So, yeah. So when
Turnover is pretty high. I think once they find a job, they stop it coming.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, I agree with that too, actually. But, okay, this is something we can work with. You can feel free to take a picture of that, or all of that. Something we can work with, but this is basically the event. Oh, thanks. Good night.
Yeah, I think Free Code Camp has high attendance but high turnover. 851.
To be honest, I'm kind of glad kids didn't come today.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure that the kids didn't come in, so we can all just talk about this
Nice.
thing. And so yeah, action items. We're going to start with a small version. So first, we're going to combine it all in kids for June 1. Do we want to start June, because June is the after 2 weeks, or do we want to start from July? Nita, like in 2 weeks is going to be very something.
So,
So we're starting on July. Now, what now since, okay, so you're going to be the main person. You're going to be the main person taking care of the kids.
okay.
Okay,
I
so
gotcha.
now the question is what you're going to teach. Like not really like teaching, but Something very small.
Which, what I would be, oh, am I gonna be the first guest to teach?
Yes.
Oh, I am? Oh, okay, well, let me think about it.
But I mean, we can split up. We can split up.
I
I
can-
can do.
I will have to get back to you on that.
Yeah, I need to think about it too. Like, and actually.
Talk about each of these in advance, so when frequently it happens. And after that, basically I'll see if I can associate, or I can incorporate some of these ideas that we talked about for this topic. You know, finding ways to do pairing or labs or demos, and seeing if I can bring ice cream on there. Okay.
Yeah, okay, good. All right, so I think we're going to, right, so this is what you're going to do, this is what you're going to do, and I'm going to think about it too. So you can also tell your friends, families, and I can do that too. I mean, actually, I do have a lot of mommies who are actually very, very, you know, they're very keen on their children education. I was not telling my group because, like, you know, I don't want to have same, I would say, same people. Like, I want to have like different diversity. I want to have different diversity. So that's why. But I think from this point we'll just tell everyone, and whoever comes up, they come up.
I see what you're saying. Okay, we could definitely do that. That's a good idea. I'm also feeling a bit questionable about this one, actually.
Yes. So I think we should have like for kids, we should put a limit. What if now there are two things. What if they'll bring like just to babysit, which is not our goal.
That's one of the reasons, but